summer workouts been for you compared to previous years when you didn't have them?
Well, they've been great. Just in the opportunity to get on the court with the guys, especially some of the young guys, but also to kind of continue the work we put in the spring. I thought it was great to give the guys the first 4 weeks of the summer where they were on their own, leading their own workouts and doing that stuff. And then to kind of see the progress once we got on the court with them has been really good. So it's been a good break, because the one thing is, a lot of times during the summer, in the past, you never get any on-the-court time with your players. And you miss it, because for me, it's the funnest part of the job, is to see guys develop and improve, and not only direct them in it, but also just observe that development. And so it's been a great summer in terms of that.
Is there a point in a player's career where you see the biggest jump, like from, say, freshman to sophomore to junior?
Well, they always talk about the freshman to sophomore year being a big jump, but we're in a position where every year our guys have to make a jump. Mufon and Pierre is 2 seniors. They have to make a jump in their game, and the only way to do that is, I always talk about the price tag never decreases; it always increases. So whatever jump they made from their sophomore to their junior year, whatever work they put in, if they put in the same work, they're not going to make another jump. They have to put in more work and more time, and that's not always just time in the gym. That's time on their own in terms of taking care of their bodies, strength, flexibility, explosiveness, and different things like that. So I've been pleased with the progress that we're making this summer. I think what we're trying to do, our main objective, was to give us a really good foundation, so when we get everybody on campus in the fall, we can start getting some team stuff done, so we're ready when practice starts.
I remember you saying in the spring you wanted some guys to work on their ball handling, that needed to be an area where they needed to get better. Have you seen that?
It's been a big emphasis through the summer as well. You talk to different coaches when you're on the road, and some coaches have done a lot of defensive stuff or practice type stuff. We've still concentrated on the individual player with the skill development. We just thought that was our greatest need of an area of improvement, all the while still working on the chemistry and all the team stuff. That's important, but more of a greater emphasis on the individual improvement and each individual player making the strides that they need to make. In particular, the ball handling. We are near the bottom of the ACC in the assist-to-turnover ratio, and that's an area that we greatly need to improve on, because as we get better defensively and rebounding the ball, you cannot have wasted possessions where you don't get a quality shot. And so, obviously, we were not a great perimeter shooting team, and our assist-to-turnover ratio was not where it needs to be. So those 2 areas are areas that our guys have really worked hard on.
What do you do, or what have you done to improve ball handling? Is it what kind of drills?
Yeah, sometimes you go back to the basic stationary ball handling drills. We have a series, a wrap series, a stationary series, and an on-the-move series that our guys religiously have done a good job of. And the thing is, the 2 hours we get with them a week is not enough. The 2 hours is great, but if that's all they're spending, then we're not going to improve enough. Those guys have to spend countless hours on their own in order to make the jumps that they need to make.
It's got to be easier to build this year, though, as opposed to last year. At least you know the guys this year, so you're probably starting at a better point than you were last year.
Well, I thought, a lot of the stuff that we were able to get solid during last year put us in a good position this spring and this summer, obviously. And you're always in a better position when you got returners that understand what it takes on a daily basis, and also incomers that are excited about doing the things that they want to do. So I feel good about the atmosphere within the program in terms of what the guys are doing and how they're approaching this summer, the improvements that they needed to make. So again, it's 2 hours a week is not enough time to evaluate if you're a much better team, but the mental aspect of feeling better and the guys more excited every day to come in and work is definitely evident.
What do you want out of your? I'm sorry. What do you want out of your bigs? You talk about the guards and the ball handling.
20 and 10 every night.
No, what do you want to see out of that?
It's July. I mean, you can still dream, you know.
Watch throws and assists.
Yeah. I thought collectively as a group, they made great strides last year. And so I think those guys are starting to realize as juniors, if you're talking about Cam and Daniel, as juniors, those guys are starting to realize that they are quality ACC players. And now as upperclassmen, they need to be consistent in that. With Julian, I thought at the end of the year, he was playing extremely well for us, and I had a lot of confidence in him in terms of his offensive abilities, and he got much better rebounding the ball. His body is still changing, and I think the conditioning and the strength aspects for him has been very, very important. With Robert coming in, that's always the adjustment for a young big as well, is it just the physicality of the college game and the ability to sustain a greater effort over a longer period of time. And he got off to a good start on getting here early in the spring and getting some workouts in on his own, and so that's put him ahead of the curve a little bit. So those four guys have really, I think, have had a great summer. And again, the most important thing, I think they're in position-wise in terms of their body and where they're at and the stuff that they've learned over the last 6 weeks or so to be ready to go right off the bat when we start up in the fall.
Now, granted, for a coach, it's never enough time,
Right.
probably. But how long would you say you all, as a group, you and your peers, have anticipated and hoped for that this would come around, that this would be reality, that you're not strangers to these guys in the summertime?
How long? It's been a long time coming, and I think, it's interesting because you mentioned that during this summer with the Olympics going on, and I think one of the things that you see in the foreign countries, in basketball in particular, their skill development, especially of their young players, and that's because they go year round, and that's what they work on, and I think that's why coaches have wanted it so badly, just in terms of, one, I'm no different than most coaches. The funnest part of my day is this next hour I get with the guys in the gym, working them out, watching them improve, seeing the work that they've put in on their own, also pay dividends during these workouts. At the same time, it is the summer, and guys have to work. And one of the things that I think is important is it's a lot harder, once the season starts, if we've been the ones who have been pushing them all summer long and all off season. That's why one of the big things for us is our guys to take ownership in their own development, and that way they have a more vested interest in what they're doing in January, February, and March because of the time they've put in on their own in June, July, and August.